Okay, it's Sunday the 23rd. When I'm updating this, we have some weather that's going to be coming through the area tonight and more during the week. And in the New England, there'll be some snowstorm. So we're going to go over everything. Plus, we're going to discuss the spring and the summer preliminary forecast. I will be live on Tuesday. I was going to do it today, but people said, "Hey, we want to know what the forecast is so we can think of what we want to ask." So that's why I changed it from today to Tuesday. So that's kind of what we're doing. So let's get down to what's actually happening to our weather here. Okay, so the reason we have some stuff going on tonight, we have some freezing rain, not that much snow, but freezing rain. But again, when you predict freezing rain, temperature is critical. And again, it's not for the lower elevations, it's for the higher elevations. So we're going to take this to around 10 o'clock tonight. And you can see up in here, temperatures are pretty close. The pink area means that it's close to freezing as we go through the night even further, you can see temperatures dropping. Here's the Poconos around 3 a.m., 31. And then again, the valleys won't get anything, but these pink areas could see some freezing precipitation. So as we go through the night, you can still see here around 5 a.m. we're still at freezing here. So let's bring the precipitation into the map now. This is 7 o'clock, and it's just entering western Pennsylvania. But you can see that where it happens. As soon as precipitation starts, air temperature drops. Okay, about 4 degrees from what I noticed, it kind of drops quickly to about 40 degrees. 4 degrees is the moisture fills the air and cools it. So this is again. Here's around 10 o'clock. The snow has moved up to New York, and now you just have rain. Pittsburgh, you have some moderate rain coming down. As this moves east and hits the high elevations up here in northern parts of Pennsylvania. This is midnight. You can see there's a little bit of snow, a little bit of freezing, and the rest is basically everybody's getting some rain. As we move this a little further on, this is around 2 a.m. You can see it's raining out here in eastern PA, even in the Poconos rain, some heavier rains down here in the south. There's freezing rain along the north up here again, higher elevations, and here's a little bit of snow in the higher elevations outside of the Wyoming Valley. And then as we go through the night, the air cools, and then here you go around 3 a.m. You got a little bit of snow, but mostly this is the freezing rain in the higher elevations. And then as we go to around 4 a.m., again, higher elevations of the Poconos, getting some freezing rain. Here is 5, 6 a.m., and you can still see it going on. This takes you to around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and here's 9 o'clock. And you can still see up here by Mount Pocono, it's really hanging on. It's freezing rain into the early morning hours before it starts to pull away around 9 o'clock, and then it just basically rain. And then along Jersey and Delaware here, the rain begins to move off the coast, but you get hit pretty good with some decent rains, which I think some of the areas need. So that's kind of what happens there. And so what we have, if you're worried about snow, there's nothing to worry about snow. That's it for snow. You got to go up into New York to get the snow. But when it comes to freezing rain, that's a different story. Here you can see the higher elevations of the Poconos west of Luzerne County up into the higher elevations towards Wellsboro and out that way. And again, this is the higher elevations of the Poconos here, not Stroudsburg, but like Mount Pocono, Tobyhanna, heading up through Pike County, heading out that way. They can get some decent amount of ice, which would make things slippery. Now the roads are warmed up a little bit, but still freezing probably on cars that are outside and things like that. But you should be aware that there could be a lengthy period of freezing rain up here, and if you get any reports or pictures of it, send pictures or your information, like where you're located and the ice and stuff that you got. Let me know on that, and that's something. Now we have more weather moving in. Now, again, this is just showing in here where there could be snow and ice, and that's kind of what you get. But as this storm gets up towards New England and off the coast, this is Monday night, you can see a pretty good snowstorm up in New England, Massachusetts, parts of Vermont and New Hampshire, up into Maine. Even along the coast here, they get a pretty good snow out of this. I do have followers up there, so that's what I'm mentioning. Then we have a few of these clipper things that are going to come along. This one is Wednesday, and again, there's scattered snow across Pennsylvania, just a dusting. You may not even stick, but even the Poconos can get the higher elevations get a little bit. But again, once that storm gets off the coast, this time Rhode Island, parts of Connecticut, a little further east this time, it snows, and that goes by. And then we have a little bit more behind it. And then this thing goes to the north. It's a clipper that goes to the north of PA. We just have to keep an eye on these, make sure they stay up there. But then we have a little further out here, I got to go. This is around April 1st. And this one is saying it's going to be over Pennsylvania. And again, it's getting late, but 1 to 2 inches of snow in a lot of areas for this time of year is, a little unusual, but it does happen. It's not like it doesn't happen. So that one moves away. And, then we don't see anything as I go out all the way to the 7th of April, nothing after that. Now, this is preliminary. Okay, it's early, but as of right now, this looks pretty good, what I find here. Again, this is March, and you can see we've been above normal. We've had some cold things here, but Pennsylvania, for most parts, been average to a little bit above average. But as we get into April, you can see the cold temperatures up towards New England, Pennsylvania. You pretty much stay um, on this map shows it staying as average. It doesn't go above, but I think this area of colder temperatures will be a degree or two below normal for the month of April, is the way I see it. As we get into May, you can see it's beginning to warm up in May, but we're still got that cold air hanging around. What's happening is this keeps funneling down this way, and we're kind of in a battle zone here. But I think it's going to be basically north of Pennsylvania where you're going to start seeing the battle zone. But then here's June, and this is what happens every time we get to Memorial Day. It warms up after that, and as you can see, it's calling for above average temperatures, and I totally agree with the above average temperatures in June, in July, in August. As you can see, it's going to be a hot summer. And you see this cold temperatures out here? Um, I think we're going to get a lot of these storms that are going to come across, or frontal systems that are going to cut across, and warm temperatures are going to surge from the south, and we're going to get these downpours as the front runs through. And these could spin up some tornadoes. I'll tell you right now, there's been 5 tornadoes in Pennsylvania already in March. All right, there were 5. They were all F1s, but I think we're going to have a little bit more active year when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now, this takes you into September. You can still see it's above normal, and we get into October, and now you can start to see it cooling. Now, some of the reasons we haven't had a big snowstorm is in the Pacific Ocean. There's thermals that are at the bottom of the ocean which you can't measure. You don't know what they're there and what's happening between that and under ocean volcanoes. But what does happen is when those things are very active, and there are periods of activity for that, it warms the ocean up, it changes everything, and it really has an effect on the eastern United States when it comes to getting snow and cold temperatures. Next year, it's going to be down. So I think next winter, we get quite interesting. And just to go out a little bit ahead, here's November. It's starting to cool. Again, you can see that some of those blues are coming down. And then as we get into Christmas and holidays, you can see the line is down here. In Pennsylvania is now in the normal to below normal region, and I actually will show you January, even though I'm not, it's still far out. You can see temperatures. The battle zone is right here in southern PA, and that's where your storm track would probably be. But again, this is way off, and just trying to give you an idea what's going to go on through this whole thing. But I do think you're going to see some severe storms across Pennsylvania this summer. I think there's going to be more than 15 total tornadoes. We've already got 5, but there'll be more than 15 overall. I hope that don't happen, but that's the way I see it when I look at the analogs. I do think it will be active, and I do think, like I said, when you get these southerly winds coming up before the front, you'll have some some nasty weather associated with that as the fronts come through. So, okay, so now if you have any questions about any of this stuff, Tuesday night live 6 o'clock on one website to 6:30, and then on the other Weather Outlook site on Facebook from 6:30 to 7. All right, take it easy.